This video is brought to you by morethanArealestateagent.com, your #1 source for real estate merch on the internet. Use code YouTube for 10% off your first order. Many of you have heard August 17th is Drophead Day. What is that going to mean for your business? Let's discuss. What's going on? It's your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, and my job today is going to be to scare the bejesus out of you. Just joking. I want to help you understand what is and what is not going to happen after August 17th. If you know anyone that is in the real estate industry, this is probably a very unnerving period that we are dealing with, because in a few days, as of this recording, things are going to change for how buyers and sellers work together to ultimately get their clients to the closing line. Now, traditionally speaking, as a buyer's representative, when I would meet clients who I'd work with and do houses, showings, all that jazz, I would typically tell them that my compensation for schlepping them all over the city is going to be covered by the seller, because for the longest time, that was the case. But as of a ruling that took place that the NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, recently decided to settle on, things are going to change. What I want everyone watching this video to take away is that we fear what we do not understand. I'm telling you right now that I predict that business is not going to change for how we operate. If anything, it's going to get better and ensure that more agents out there are not wasting their time with buyers that are truly not ready to purchase a home. So let's talk about what your typical buyer consultation consists of now that we are walking through the post-NAR settlement world. When I'm talking with my buyer clients, first and foremost, we don't go see any houses before we have a buyer's representation agreement signed. I know if you're a brand new agent, you probably feel like if I show them how much I want to be their agent and I just take them looking on a bunch of homes without asking some key questions, you as the agent are going to be very, very upset and then ultimately frustrated with the experience as a licensed realtor. So before I take a person on any showings whatsoever, I immediately route them to my lender team to make sure that that buyer is in a financial position to purchase a home. It's super important that you do not waste your time as a real estate agent and that you don't waste your buyer's time as a real estate agent if they are not in a financial position to purchase a home in the first place. Many of us that are not licensed realtors have a hard time understanding that in addition to a down payment for a home, you also have to have closing costs. And that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as the costs and expenses that go into purchasing a home. You have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved when things can and will go wrong in the home buying process. Do you understand that you as the buyer have to pay for an appraisal? You as the buyer also have to pay for an inspection. These are costs that can quickly add up before you even go under contract for a property. So having a proper buyer consultation conversation is super key, but don't even waste your time until that buyer has done their part, and that's ensuring that they are not only pre-qualified but pre-approved to purchase a home. In this new NAR settlement world, the conversations that I'm having with my buyer clients is that we are now going to have a very customized experience, and there is no one size fits all as it relates to purchasing a home. So for example, if your state allows it, you might decide as a buyer's representative that you want to be on retainer, meaning that your buyer client puts up upfront money in this experience, and if for whatever reason things don't work out, that money is yours to keep. As many folks have to realize that the biggest change that's going to take place is that compensation cannot be posted on any MLS website. That's really the long and short of what this whole thing is all about, is that compensation cannot be posted on any MLS website, and sellers are not obligated to pay a buyer's representative. But if you're a listing agent, and like me, I have listings currently active right now, I am encouraging my sellers to not offer compensation to the buyer, because unfortunately we do have something called steering in this business. And what that means is that real estate agents may tailor the homes that they're sending to their buyer clients based on homes that are offering compensation versus ones that are not offering compensation. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but it is an unfortunate reality in our business. So I'm telling my seller clients, unless you want to cut out a significant percentage of potential buyer clients, go ahead and offer some level of compensation. And if they just decide that they're not going to do that, I will typically offer some of my compensation to help with a buyer's representative. This whole thing has always been negotiable, and I think a lot of folks are thinking that this is just something brand new That has never been the case. As a buyer's representative, our standard fee in most markets is somewhere around 3%. On the screen here, these are the top markets that are paying compensation on the high end as well as on the low end. And as you see, the average commission rate is somewhere around 3%. That's typically always been, what our fee was as buyer's agents, right? But on the listing side, that part has always been negotiable, and it's assumed that whatever the listing agent accepts to list that home, they will split in half or some percentage that they will offer to the buyer's agent. So if you are a real estate professional and you're representing buyers, it's just all about transparency and having these conversations on the front end so that you don't run into any issues on the back end. Another thing that you might want to look at doing with your buyer clients, in addition to and you might only have this issue with brand new clients, first time home buyers, those types of individuals, because they are very green as it relates to this whole process. So some of the things that you might want to consider doing, and this is just some advice from your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, is simply telling the client that your job as the buyer's agent is to go to bat for them. And if the question about compensation comes up, that it could be something that you write into an offer in a potential home that you're interested in, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer Client. That way, you as the buyer's representative, you're making sure that you have conveyed that if that particular buyer wants that home and that home is not paying a buyer's agent's commission, that they understand that either A, they will pay you from there as part of their closing cost, or B, we need to move on to another home that is covering my compensation. Hey, if you've made it this far in the video and you are a real estate professional, consider partnering with me here at Real Brokerage. Pay nothing per month, get a fantastic split, and you have the opportunity to build a business through revenue share and stock purchases. Book a call at the link below in today's video, and I'm happy to have a conversation on why I was able to grow my business exponentially by moving my practice to Real Brokerage. All right, back to the video. I've had situations where other agents have mentioned that their clients have told them, hey, can you only send me homes that are going to compensate you as my real estate agent because I see the work that you're doing and I want to make sure that you get paid? That could be one way that you handle it, right? Or you could decide to go the retainer route. However you choose to customize this thing, just know that it's putting you as a buyer's agent in an even stronger position to drive the value of the work that we do. Because many individuals out there tend to think that we just open doors and that's it. But we go to bat for our clients. I represent buyers as well as sellers, and I am literally in the middle of a knockdown, drag out fight for one of my buyer clients that are literally getting taken to the cleaners by the closing company. So I think that it's important as a real estate agent right now to not be fearful, because that's what other people that are misinformed are choosing to do. It's better to kind of wallow in that ignorance. I think the folks that are going to win in this business are the ones that were already being very transparent in the information that they were presenting to their buyer and their seller clients. Hey, buyer client, typically my compensation was covered by the seller. That may not be the case in this current situation that we're dealing with, but I'm going to go to bat for you as your buyer's agent and try to get you the best deal possible on the best home possible. And if my compensation comes into play, we have had this conversation on the front end that it was typically part of my compensation. If that's not the case and they really do want this home, then that's something that we're going to have a discussion about. Period, point blank. And ultimately, it's going to eliminate a lot of looky-loos, individuals that are just, for lack of a better word, they were just tire kickers in the first place. They weren't serious about buying a home, unfortunately, and they just needed you as the buyer's agent to give them entry into homes that unfortunately they wouldn't be able to get in without a realtor. So it's going to make you a better, a sharper, a faster agent to begin with. And now it's in black and white that it's expected that you are going to be compensated by the buyer. And in the event that the seller is going to cover your compensation, that's a win-win. But if they're not covering all of your compensation, then the buyer is responsible for what's left. Period, point blank. That's the name of the game in this post-NAR world. That is all it is from a long and short standpoint. And lastly, that the MLS is not posting what the compensation is. Now, I have seen some funny memes out there like this one right here that is kind of a say the quiet part out loud way of a seller's agent letting the buyer's agent know that they are still offering full compensation. Most of these sellers, they know what's up. They want to sell this house. We're in a market right now where homes are not flying off the shelf like they used to. And we are potentially looking at a buyer's market depending on what happens with interest rates. Here in my market here in Atlanta, things are a little slow right now, right? But I'm still optimistic, and I know that the market is cyclical. And wherever you are, as far as in your market, you need to be the practitioner of this thing called real estate. You need to be watching the data. You need to be updating your buyer clients. Hey, I talked with my lender. If you have a lender that you're working with and interest rates have dropped, and now the payment that you were going to have to be responsible for when we started the house hunt, where your payments were going to be significantly higher, look at how much money you're going to save now, or how much more of a home you can purchase now that interest rates have dropped half a percentage point or whatever the case is. There is value in you as the buyer's representative, and all this settlement is going to do is going to continue to prove why that 3% is literally less than you're supposed to be getting, but truly it is a value for the client. If you appreciated today's video and this helped you feel a little bit better about what's going on after August 17th, let me know in the comments below. I want to say that I covered pretty much all aspects of what this whole thing is going to mean. Here at Real Brokerage, our president, Sharon Srivatsa, is having an amazing buyer's representation workshop. It's broker agnostic. If you are at Keller, EXP, Fathom, wherever, and you just want to get some free game that your brokerage may or may not be offering, I want to give you a special invite. The link to it will be in the description of this video. If you're watching this video after August 17th, then I will try to find the replay for you. That's something that maybe I can shoot to you in an email. So just sign up for my emails in the description below either way. And until the next video, this is your brother, your uncle, your favorite realtor's favorite realtor, letting you know that this too shall pass. All right, till the next video. Peace.